Hello children, I am going to teach you how do organisms reproduce. Do you know? Cat always produce kitten, cat do not produce rat. Why? Because of the reproduction. Reproduction is the process by which living organism produce new individual of same species. Before studying this chapter, we should know what is nucleus. Nucleus. Nucleus is found at the center of the cell, and inside the nucleus there is thread-like structure. This thread-like structure is called chromatin. Whenever cell division take place, during the cell division, chromatin converted into chromosome which have the fixed shape. Chromosomes are segmented structure and each segment is called gene. Genes are made up of by the histone protein and DNA structure. Full form of DNA is deoxyribose nucleic acid. Now question arises, why DNA is very important? DNA is very important because it passes heredity character from one generation to another generation. The unit of DNA is nucleotide. Now we are going to study about the do organism create carbon copy of themselves? In an asexually reproducing organism, variation is restricted, but the probability of variation are very high in sexually reproducing organism because meiosis cell division take place in the sexually reproducing organism, and in the meiosis cell division crossing over take place. Every individual life begins with a very small unit which is called cell. Cell contain nucleus and nucleus contain DNA, deoxyribose nucleic acid, which passes heredity character from one generation to another generation. Now, the importance of variation. Variation helps the organism to adjust and adapt to better environmental condition. Different kinds of variation in organism leads to the development of new species that are better fit for the harsh environmental condition. Variation are the major sources of species evolution and environmental evolution. Variation help to make plants and animal resistance to different kinds of diseases. Variation help in improving the chances of survival of any species in case of unfavorable conditions also. Now we are going to study about the types of reproduction. There are two types of reproduction, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction in which single parent is involved. Sexual reproduction in which two parents are involved. Sexual reproduction, gamete formation take place, fertilization take place, meiosis cell division take place, and crossing over take place. These events do not take place in asexual reproduction. Now we are going to study the different type of asexual reproduction. Mode of reproduction used by single organism. Amoeba is unicellular organism and it reproduces by binary fission. Bi means two, fission means division. When an organism divided equally into two parts by mitotic cell division, so this is called binary fission. Now here you can see this is the example of amoeba, parent cell, then nucleus divided into two nuclei, then at the center constriction take place. From where constriction take place, later on it divided into two daughter amoeba. Now next is multiple fission. In multiple fission, nucleus divided many times into many nuclei. So each nuclei is surrounded by the protoplasm. So whenever this cell bursts out, these daughter cells liberate it and start growing into the host cell. Next type is budding. Budding, it is also an asexual reproduction, and bulb-like small bud-like structure arises at the lateral side of the body of organism. And here is the example of Hydra. Hydra give rise to the bud-like structure. Then bud develop mouth and tentacles. Whenever it get mature, it get detached from the parent body and start living individually. Next type is regeneration. The process of getting back a full organism from its body part is called regeneration. Regeneration is carried out by the specialized cell. Here is the example of planaria. Planaria, whenever it is cut into three parts, each part will grow into new individual organism. Now next is fragmentation. Fragment means pieces. So broken filament of organism that develop into new organism is called fragmentation. Each of these fragments contain protoplasm. Example is Spirogyra. Spore formation. It is also an asexual reproduction. A bulb-like structure. This is called sporangium. It is arise at the top and it contain many spores. These spores liberated into the air by rain, by wind, by insect, and these are unicellular structure. Whenever they are found in the air, they are covered by the protective layer which is called cyst, which protect them from the extreme conditions. But whenever they get favorable condition, they start growing, and whenever they start growing, there is thread-like structure which is called hyphae. Hyphae arises at the base. They have net-like structure which is called mycelium, and at the top they have bulb-like structure which is called sporangium. Again same process continued. Sporangium burst out and it liberated spore into the air. Now next type of asexual reproduction is vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation, in which a part of plant like stem, leaves, root, it give rise to new individual without the help of reproductive organ. Here you can see this is the bryophyllum leaf. Bryophyllum leaf give rise to the new plant. They have notches. Each notch have the capability to give rise to the new plant. So now these are the asexual reproduction. Thank you very much for watching this video.